It's all training, training for life. Every circumstance that you run into, you are training for life. Embody this mindset and you will soar way past everybody else when it comes to facing the adversity that life is giving you. Whether or not if you're facing adversity right now, then this is perfect. But if you're not facing a lot of adversity right now, don't worry, it's coming. And it is especially in the times of peace do we need to make sure that we sweat such that we bleed less in war. Every single tragedy or bad thing that happens to you in your life is another opportunity to go about it in a healthy manner, to strengthen yourself. And I think a lot of us will fail to truly embody this when it's actually our own ass on the line. When our own head is on the chopping block, do we actually have the courage to embody such an idea, such a teaching, such a piece of wisdom? This is as much of a teaching for myself. Do you have the courage to hold that integrity with the pieces of wisdom that you choose to believe? Because believing is one thing, but then embodying it with your actions is another. When adversity strikes your way, because it will, are you going to have that mindset saying, you know what, this is exactly the gift, exactly the opportunity I needed to strengthen me in this specific way? And sometimes we can't quite see it yet, but as time goes on and you embody this attitude of just seeing everything that comes into your life as an opportunity of strengthening your character, you will start to see these patterns, and you will start to see that, reality is doing exactly reality is giving me exactly what I need to become who I want to be, to become that strong individual that I want to be. I am being sent all the hardship, all the challenges, all the bullshit that I personally need to overcome. I found this very interesting idea from Wes Watson, and it didn't really click for me until he said it in a certain way. When he says focus on your weaknesses, not your strengths. And it didn't really click for me until he said that your strengths is your comfort zone, while your weaknesses is your uncomfort zone. And I clicked that with, always doing what's emotionally difficult, always going outside your comfort zone. This is what makes sense. If it's your weakness to embody wisdom that's hard for you when things aren't going your way, if that's your weakness, that's exactly what you need to be working on. Because the adversity that is coming in your life will introduce you to who you really are. And our core beliefs are solidified in these times of adversity, in these times that we are challenged. And so every time that life throws you another challenge, you have an opportunity to rewrite the script of your character, to rewrite the attributes of your character. You want to talk about real change? Real change only comes with actually doing emotionally difficult things, suffering for the change that you want to see in yourself. And so, having this mindset where you see all these moments of suffering as just training, all these moments where you can overcome this suffering and seeing it as training, then you will be able to really have an opportunity to change your character into something for the better. If you look around, and the longer you live, the longer you'll see this, is that people do not change much at all. And that's because people do not want to completely rewire their personality, completely rewire who they are. Whereas you'll have an individual like me who's very interested in completely rewiring themselves to the point where they don't even recognize who they were 5 years ago. It's a completely different individual. And for me, that's actually very exciting because then I get to meet a new part of myself. For me, it's a process of self-discovery. And this self-discovery process is catalyzed, if that's a word. The catalyst moments are when we are tested, and it is in those moments that we are tested that we see these as specific tests and see these as opportunities of reality training us to become who we came here to be. So, and I remember Wes would say, never waste a good crisis. And that's right, because when you are in crisis, when things aren't going your way, when shit's not good, you have an opportunity to solidify a new core belief about reality, to instill some more resilience in your character. Now, this is easier said than done, but I'm just letting you know what is the case here. If you really want to instill a strong character, I want you to remember to always have this in the back of your mind, that, you know, and have this insight come to you, especially when things aren't going your way and life is starting to suck. And seeing it as all training, that this is all training. You know, even that chore that you've been meaning to get to, whatever you're procrastinating on, just getting to it and practicing being an individual that's proactive, that's also just training. But especially when you've had a long day, you had a hard day, and you still do your habits, you still do your self-investment process, you still put in the work, you still do whatever you can to move the needle. It is in those moments that we still put ourselves through our daily processes, our daily self-investment processes, even though we don't want to. It is in those moments that we truly have the opportunity to solidify our core beliefs and solidify our character, because we are doing something in our weakness zone, in our uncomfort zone. We're deliberately choosing to suffer more just to instill a behavior about us, to instill a behavior such that it becomes more permanent, it becomes more aligned with who you are, right? And I think I've talked about this as well, or where you will align your self-esteem to the completion and the doing of your habits, not the and the being of an individual that doesn't throw in the towel. And so what is that for you? So if you're not in a hardship right now, if you're not really feeling it right now, know that it's coming. And yeah, you will have I want you to remember to jump on that hardship as Your next opportunity to align yourself with who you came here to be, who you want to become, and proceed to take the action of an individual that you admire. Take the positive mindsets that you would like to have in such situations. Take the habits, take the willpower, the embodiment of an individual that will just keep on going regardless of what's going on. It's very simple. Just follow what you would respect. Create the man that you would listen to. So with every opportunity you have, always, with every event that you have in your life, especially the crappy ones, see it as training. Everything happens for you. That's another quote. Life happens for you. You know, traffic is slow. Right, it's happening for you. You need to learn to be more patient. And just rewrite the story for every little thing like that for yourself. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one.